self-defense and of belief in the Second Amendment.
Well, that's fine. Nobody's denying
It leads
that.
us to our next question. Amanda Collins. She became a Second Amendment activist after she was the victim of a sexual assault at gunpoint as a college student. She now runs an organization that advocates for victims and women's rights to self-defense. Amanda, thank you for joining us. What's your question?
Thank you for having me. Leader Pelosi, you've been talking about needing to pass as many laws, or the laws in order to save the most lives. The very law that was passed in order to ensure my safety while I was on my college campus was, in fact, what guaranteed my attacker an unmatched victim the night he raped me at gunpoint, less than 50 feet away from the campus police office on the same floor of the parking garage where they park their cruisers. And so my question to you is, how does rendering me as a law-abiding citizen protect anybody else from a violent crime?
I'm sorry, I missed the verb. How does limiting?
How does rendering me defenseless, me meaning a law-abiding citizen, by taking away my ability to defend myself in the manner in which I believe I should be able to choose to, where I want to, how does rendering me defenseless protect anybody else from a violent crime?
Well, let me be a consolation to you. No one is advocating that. We're not talking about taking guns away from people. What we're talking about is to make sure that people who have guns register and that there are background checks on that to prevent other people from being in harm's way. But no one is questioning your right to have a gun or to limiting your safety at all, not at all. So hopefully that clarification, because that is part of the argument the other side used. Well, like, you're going to take away my... Nobody's taking away anybody's gun. All we're saying is you should have a background check. And people, responsible gun owners from the hills of Arizona to the duck lines of Minnesota, all over, say we're all law-abiding. We have many guns. We have as many guns as he had. But we have background checks. I think she has a call up. No.
I didn't have my firearm that evening because my university is a gun-free zone.
Right.
So we're bringing into, I'm asking about the gun-free zones that are advocated for.
Right, and because, Amanda, just because you don't have the mic, I'll repeat the question so everybody at home can understand. She's saying there was a law that had a gun-free zone, which is seen as obviously a deterrent. Amanda's saying it worked in reverse in her case because she wasn't allowed to carry. The bad guys can always get the guns because they get them illegally. They don't worry about it doing it the way a lawful citizen would, so they have an advantage. And should you be creating laws that give advantage to the wrong people?
Would you have had a gun if you... you would have been carrying a gun?
Yes, at the time of my attack, I had a concealed carry permit. However, being a law-abiding citizen, I followed the law and did not have my firearm with me.
Right, and look, and you know, just statistically, Amanda was a rare breed, right? That you had a concealed carry permit, and you could have been in a position to have a weapon, but the law kept you from doing it, and you followed the law.
And the other
your
person
own detriment.
broke the law.
That's right. But in general, most people don't have concealed carry permits. But the principle stands. When you make it harder for someone like Amanda or me to get a gun, then you are making it easier for bad guys because they don't follow the law.
Let me just say, go back to what I said. We're talking about a bill that would say you have to have a background check.
Right.
It's 72 hours. It's a very short background check. So I'm not making it harder for you to have a gun. All we're just saying is that you have to have a background check. That somebody was on the campus with a gun is a violation of that, and they should have had better protection for you. But people are generally trying to protect as many people as possible. Your situation is heartbreaking. I sympathize with you. You're like my daughter's age, so I put myself in that kind of a situation. As a mother, how would I feel about that? But it isn't, as horrible as the incident was, we're trying to stop as many other incidences, and the evidence is clear that when we did have the background checks before all of this gun shows and internet purchases and the rest, hundreds of thousands, if not a couple million, sales were prevented from happening, and that saved lives.
All right, we need to take a break. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate seeing both sides of this issue. It's a conversation we need to have.